There are so many really good reasons why we might choose to buy and sell in the markets. But one reason which I hear coming up quite a lot that is definitely not a good reason is because the price now is so much lower than it was before, or vice versa. People are selling because the price now is so much higher than it was before. So I want to share with you this little clip from Peter Lynch, who's one of the best performing fund managers of all time, and he's got a good reason why it's not a good idea to take that approach. And after the clip, I'll be back to talk you through a little story from my past, which is very embarrassing, of when I was so stupid and how I learnt my lesson the hard way.
People saying it'll come back. Well, it doesn't have to come back. Here's another one you hear all the time. It's $3, how much can I lose? I've had people call me up saying, I'm thinking of buying this stock at $3, how much can I lose? Well, again, you may need a piece of paper for this, but if you put if you put $20,000 in a stock at 50, or your neighbor put $20,000 at 50 into the stock, and you put $20,000 in at 3, and it goes to 0, you lose exactly the same amount of money, everything. And people say it's 3, how much can I lose? Well, if you put $1 million on it, you can lose $1 million. Just the fact that stock, this may be a reason to research a stock. The fact that stock is 3 down from 100 doesn't mean you should buy it. And in fact, short sellers, people that really make money in stocks, they don't short Walmart, they don't short Home Depot, they don't short the great companies, Johnson & Johnson. They short stocks down from 80 to 7. They'd like to short it at 16 or 22, but they figured out at 7 that this company is going to go to 0. They just haven't blown taps on this thing yet. It's going to 0. And they're selling it short at 7, they're selling it short at 6, at 5, at 4, at 3, at 2, at 1 1/4. And you know to sell something short, you need a buyer. Somebody has to buy the damn thing. And you wonder, who's buying this thing? It's these people saying it's 3, how much lower can it go? You know,
What he says there is so true, isn't it? I mean, I think we all have it within us to a certain extent that when we see something dropping from 100 down to 3, then suddenly we get tempted. I know a lot of people have been going through this recently with cryptocurrencies, thinking, well, it's dropped that much, surely it can't go much further. And in some assets, that may be the case. But it's not just the case because of the drop in price, it's the case because of the fundamentals or for other reasons that is a base and it's going to rise from there. Just seeing a price drop from a high amount to a low amount is not a good enough reason. I've even seen a lesson before online where someone was saying what goes up must come down and vice versa, and using that as a reason to invest in something. That is an absolutely horrible reason to choose to do anything in the financial markets. And if you do that, then you're just going to end up in a situation like Peter Lynch said, where you're the bag holder while all the short sellers have got out of that price and you're left with something that's practically worthless. And believe me, I can say this with real conviction because I have been there and done it. Many years ago when I first got started in the markets and I thought I was going to be the next Warren Buffett, I was going for small cap companies because of the volatility. I thought that I can turn over an investment within a month and make a good profit. So one day I saw this company called Yell, and this was a company I was very familiar with, but their share price had dropped massively. Now, I thought that I was a fundamental trader, but really I wasn't. I was just carried away in the hype on things. I was looking at the share price, not factoring in why the share price might have dropped so much. Maybe they were raising capital, maybe there was some other underlying reason, maybe the fundamentals were just terrible. But I thought, no, surely it's got to bounce back from here. There were many times I looked at companies where it was like, they were worth a few p per share, and I was like, they're definitely going to bounce back. But lo and behold, they don't. Because the reason they dropped so much is because they are just a terrible company. Maybe they're in a dying industry. Maybe their product's not desirable anymore. Maybe they've got bad management. Maybe something has just gone wrong. But for whatever reason, they are not going to bounce back. You would maybe get like a dead cat bounce where it would rise a little bit and you're like, this is it, it's gonna start trending up now. But it's not. That's just a chance for some people to get out before it drops again like a brick. Now, obviously, I'm talking about company shares here, about equities, but the same is true for anything. It could be corporate bonds, government bonds, currencies, cryptocurrencies, houses. It could be anything, any asset can keep dropping in value, and it doesn't necessarily reach a point where people think, oh, that's low enough now, like let's just buy it because the price is really low. If the fundamentals have significantly changed, then it's reason enough to get out. So don't get caught in the trap of thinking something is an attractive investment just because it's fallen a lot from its previous highs, and definitely don't look at your investment now and multiply it by the amount of times it would take to get to those previous highs and think about how much you would be worth then. It just doesn't work that way. All right, guys, if you've got any comments or stories about when this has happened to you, share them in the comment section below. It will save some other people from going through it, and let's be honest, it's quite funny at times as well. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more of these success snippets from some of the most successful traders and investors around, with our own little learning points with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon.